Are you a person moving from the city to the countryside but not too sure what to do? Well, in this video I'm telling you some things that you may need to think about before moving into the countryside, what to expect, and some things that you may have to be self-aware about when things happen. And I'm going to be putting time codes in the description down below so you can come back to the video and go to a section of the video, as there may be some things which I'm going to be talking about which may take some time for you to think about, which might be a lot if you're someone that may be moving into the countryside who may not have an idea of what the countryside is like in terms of the environment and what happens in the countryside. So let's get into it. So the first thing you may need to think about is location in terms of where you're going to live, as you may want to think about schooling if you have children, as you might want to do some research on locations, as some places in rural areas like a village have a school, as a school bus will go into rural areas in the countryside and pick up children on its way to school, as some schools would have buses that will go and pick up children from rural areas and take them to school and back home, as you may have to take your children to school or take them to a spot for them to get onto the school bus, as some places in the countryside can be quite far away from town, meaning that there may be a distance from the houses. Second is old ideas. Now what I mean by old ideas is that you may see farms in the countryside, as some people may grow organic food, as some people grow organic food like potatoes and carrots, as once they are fully grown they are taken out of the ground and made into meals, as some people grow organic food and use them when they are fully grown into meals, like a stew which has got minced beef, carrots, potatoes and peas in it, as some houses in the countryside may have open fires, as there may be some things like a viaduct, which is a bridge that was built a long time ago, as some viaducts may have trains that run on them, but some viaducts may no longer be in use, as some villages and towns in rural areas may have history to them in terms of what buildings used to be there before, as some buildings used back a post office but now may be a house, as some buildings that were around a long time ago may be converted into houses or something else. The third one is transport. So what I mean is that you may have to travel a lot to get to places, as you might have to travel a long way to get to town depending on your location, as some places in the countryside are around the outside of town, meaning that you won't have to travel a long way to get into town, as some places may be far away from you in the countryside, as you might want to think about how long it'll take you to get to work and how long it'll take you to get to places in terms of food and shopping. Fourth is water supply. So what I mean is that in the countryside most people might be on their own water supply, meaning that there may be a tank that holds water in it, as you might have to be careful of how much water you use when it comes to summer, as in summer there might be times when there is no rainwater that comes for a few days or more, as there have been times in the past where some people have run out of water, meaning that there is no water in the tank, as you might have to be careful of how you use your water just so that you don't run out of water during the summer when it's hot. Fifth is services. So what I mean by services is that you might want to think how you're going to contact the emergency services in case of an emergency, as you might want to find out the nearest police station or fire station to your location, as in the countryside you might want to contact the local police station or fire station, as you might want to think about how you're going to get to the dentist or doctors, as you may want to sign up for the nearest doctors or dentists depending on your location in terms of like going to a dentist appointment or getting medication. And in terms of phone reception and broadband, you might expect that phone reception can be put in the countryside, as some mobile networks can be better than others in terms of phone reception, but it depends on your location, as in the past there have been times when I've had to go to a window to get phone reception, but others have had slightly better phone reception. And in terms of the internet, you might find that the internet can be slow, as it may take a long time for things to load, as the internet speed in the countryside may be slow, but if you decide to go on a faster broadband, it may be faster, but not by much. And the last one is toggle. What I mean is that when it comes to winter in the countryside is that you may have to stock up with wood and coal, as when it comes to winter you may have to keep the open fire going by getting some kiln, which is wood that has been chopped up into little pieces, which helps it get started. Then put a firelighter on it and light it with a match. Then put some wood and coal on when it starts burning after a minute or two before putting coal and wood on it, as you might have to stock with wood and coal ready for the winter to help keep the house warm during the winter, as some houses in the countryside don't keep warm during the winter. And leave a question in the comment section below if you have any questions, and drop a like if you found this helpful, and maybe share this with anyone that maybe find it helpful. Click this video or this video to see another video. Stay positive, and I'll see you next video.